What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Arizona Coyotes as we continue our season preview series. Guys, make sure to check out the rest of our videos that'll be coming out here over the next month or so. So check in on those as we get ready for the 2023-2024 NHL season. I can't believe we are at this point. So let's get right into it. So there's a lot to talk about in Arizona for a lot of reasons. There's been a lot of interesting things with some of the young guys on this team. There's a potential extension, maybe by the time this video is released, on Andre Tournier, which would be a great thing for the coaching position and a little bit of stability for this franchise. We've got some things to talk about. So, the way I look at this Arizona Coyotes team is, it's a prove-it year, specifically for the defense, but for some of the younger guys as well. So, the first things first, some of the changes. So, the big changes for this team that really kind of had me on guard were, some of the veterans that they brought in. So Jason Zucker comes in on a one-year deal. Alex Kerfoot comes in. Nick Bukestad decides to come back, which I think that was really nice to see him come back. A little bit refreshing. A guy actually wanting to play in Arizona. That's quite nice, right? And he had a good season last year. Sean Dursey coming in. Josh Brown coming in. So just some different guys coming into the organization. Now, a couple of things to look at here, especially the rookie-wise, and this kind of goes into the guys trying to prove themselves. Logan Cooley did end up signing. There was some questions about would he go back to the University of Minnesota to play with the Golden Gophers. He ends up opting to go play for the Coyotes, which I think was a great decision because this is an opportunity for him to really develop. And with the Coyotes, especially this season, he's probably going to make the roster out of training camp, which I think that's maybe part of the reason he was waiting to see, well, am I going to play in the NHL or am I going to play in the AHL? Because if I'm going to spend most of the season with the Tucson Roadrunners, I think I'd rather go back to the University of Minnesota. I think that's kind of what the mentality was. So I'm not saying it's a guarantee because he still has to go through training camp and stuff, but I think there is an inkling to the idea that he will be playing with the Coyotes to start the season. So Logan Cooley's a rookie to watch. And that's surprisingly it for the Coyotes next season. It's all a bunch of guys that have already been with the organization. So, it's definitely weird to see one rookie coming into the season for the Coyotes, but that's the case here in the 2023-24 season, at least for now. Now, what are some guys that we should be looking at in terms of a breakout player? Now, I kind of have two honorable mentions here. The first one was Barrett Hayton. Barrett Hayton is a guy that I think, based off what he did last season, I think is going to continue to build off of that. And nobody really talked about him because, well, he was with the Coyotes. Now, we know things have been a little bit rocky in the beginning of his career, right? This is a guy that was supposed to be better. He was the 5th overall pick back in 2018, and we always look back to that draft and see who got drafted after him. Guys like Quinn Hughes, guys like Evan Bouchard, Wallstrom, Dobson, Farabee, Ty Smith. But to be honest with you, it doesn't really look so bad. And especially when he puts up seasons like he did last year, picking up 43 points in 82 games, it's a 20-goal campaign. But if he can even get that to 30 goals this season, maybe a couple more assists, if he becomes a 50-point player, I think the 50 to 60-point player, I think the Coyotes would be quite happy with that next season. Again, I was being very optimistic, but he had 43 points this past season. What's to say he can't hit 50 this year, right? A couple more goals here and there. Now, the 23-year-old forward is definitely a guy that is on my radar, and that's an honorable mention. But I'm going to be going with Matias Maccelli. Now, shout out to him. He just got married to his new fiance, so congratulations there, Matias. But Matias Maccelli is a former 4th-round pick in 2019. Last season, he had 49 points in 64 games. So a full healthy schedule, ready to go next season. This is a guy with that kind of point production. This is a guy that could maybe hit 60 points next year. And that sounds crazy, but crazier things have happened, guys. So Matias Michelli is my guy to watch next season for the Coyotes. I think he's going to garner a lot of attention from around the league. And while everybody's looking at the young studs like Dylan Guenther in year 2 and Logan Cooley in year 1 and even Barrett Hayden in his next season with the Coyotes, I think Matias Michelli is not getting the respect that he deserves. And that is my breakout player here for the Arizona Coyotes. Now, what's interesting about this blue line, we have to talk about the blue line for a minute because there is not a single defenseman on this roster right now, according to Cap Friendly, that has a contract past this season. So Sean Durzi, Josh Brown, Troy Stetcher, Juuso Valimaki, J.J. Moser, Victor Soderstrom, Vladislav Kolyachonok. All these guys are either RFAs or UFAs next summer. So nobody is signed past this season on the blue line. And that is going to create what I talked about earlier, especially with the younger guys like Matias Michelli, Logan Cooley, Dylan Guenther, and basically the entire defense. They are trying to prove themselves. They're going to be motivated this season to play the best that they possibly can. And I think that's going to be a benefit for the Arizona Coyotes, who are trying to get out of the basement of the NHL standings. I didn't say it was going to be easy, though. The competition is going to be tough. Right, this is a team that finished with, I think, 60 points last year, somewhere around there. Not good enough. Not good enough for a team that's trying to develop out of that rebuild. Yes, we know they traded Chikrin. They've been trying to move things around. But this is a team that I expect to be a little bit better than they were last year. Maybe not even by much, but I think they will be better. And that's why my prediction is they will have between 25 to 30 wins this coming season. Yeah, it's not great, but still, it's an improvement from where they were last year, and I also think they're closer to that 65 to 70 point range. They're still a really good hockey team. I think there's no doubt about that in terms of their future. And I just talked about the Anaheim Ducks, very similar in that sense. But this isn't the year for them. And I would even say they're a year behind the Anaheim Ducks in terms of the development of the franchise. Like I said, though, there are pieces here that I am excited for. We know J.J. Moser had a good season last year. Victor Soderstrom's pretty good. Kolyachonok, those are some good defensemen there. And then you add in the Michellis and Hayden and Cooley and Guenther. That's the future of the Coyotes here. So as much as things don't look so great for them, and yeah, they overpaid for guys like Kerfoot and Durzi and Zucker, you know what? They aren't paying a defenseman over $2 million this season. This is a team that is in a state of transition, and they aren't looking to win the Stanley Cup this year. They aren't trying to make the playoffs. They're going to wear these really nice uniforms. They're going to go out there and play. They're going to develop. They're going to play at Mullet Arena, the Mullet Magic, and see how it goes. So that's my prediction. 25 to 30 wins, 65 to 70 points. It's going to be a missed playoff season for the Coyotes, but it is going to be an improvement year for them. Keep an eye out on Matias Michelli this year. I think that's the guy to watch. Nobody talked about him last year. He's going to get some buzz this year. He's a really talented player, and that's my guy that I'm watching for out in Arizona. So, guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think of the Arizona Coyotes? Do you think they will make the playoffs this year? Do you think they'll miss? Do you agree with me? Let me know your guys' thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.